Ethan Daniels, our guide at Sam's Tours Palau, took us to Chandelier Cave, which is on the island of Koror. We spent some time with Ethan prior to our cave adventure, and we picked his brain and tried to get a feel for this dive. Ethan staged our group outside the entrance of Chandelier Cave. The tension seemed to be contagious. None of us were experienced cave divers. The water at the entrance of the cave was pretty silted up, and visibility was not very good. This contributed to everyone's apprehension. As we entered the cave, I was thinking that going into a dark, confined space with low visibility was not my idea of a good time. And I'm sure that at least a few of the other people in my group were thinking the same thing. After about 2 to 3 minutes, we ascended into the first of 4 chambers, and as you can see, the water was quite clear. Our fears disappeared, and everyone was pumped up and suddenly very into this dive.
Chandelier Cave was basically formed millions of years ago as water levels were much lower than they are today. Basically, solution tubes were formed as fresh water fell through cracks and fissures of the rock islands, forming carbonic and humic acid, combining with carbon dioxide and humus, the rotting vegetation on the rock island surface. Those kind of percolated down through the island and formed solution tubes. As those solution tubes got larger and larger, caves or big large pockets were formed, and that is the basis behind what we now see as Chandelier Cave. As water levels rose thousands of years ago, the cave became totally marine, and now we get to dive in it, which is a fantastic cave to dive.
We're about 300 feet into the rock island from the entrance, of course, and of course at sea level as well. So we'll be going back down about 25 feet and then heading out around 300 feet out towards the opening. But again, turn your lights off at a point and just check out the natural light as it comes in on you on your way out. And turn over on your back and look back up at the stalactites with natural light. It's really, really beautiful.
The novice, as well as the advanced diver, will have a great time at Chandelier Cave. It's a safe dive and not an endless series of passageways and dead ends. Our dive group of writers and dive industry people were forming a bond that would make our stay in Palau a memorable one. Each evening, we'd all gather at the bar at the Outrigger Palasia Hotel and relive our adventures and talk about the next day. On our next Hawaiian diving adventure in Palau, we'll be going to the island of Peleliu, where a historic World War II battle took place. We'll also check out Palau's Independence Day and dive a World War II Japanese wreck. Finally, we'll check out the big action at the world-famous Blue Corner. So tune in next week. I know you'll love it.
We'll be right back with more Hawaiian diving adventures. Welcome back to Hawaiian Diving Adventures.
I want to take this opportunity to thank some of the people that made this Hawaiian diving adventure possible. There's Chris Dacus and Stephen Goodall of Outrigger Hotels and Resorts, who put us up in this beautiful new hotel. Also, Sam Scott and the outstanding staff at Sam's Dive Tours. There's the wonderful people of Palau, Continental Airlines, and most importantly, I want to thank you folks at home for tuning in and joining us on another Hawaiian diving adventure. Aloha.
Welcome to Hawaiian Diving Adventures from the warm and exotic waters of the Hawaiian Islands. Join us each week as we explore an undersea environment full of mystery and intrigue that has evolved for countless generations. Hawaiian archipelago, surrounded by the greatest body of water on our planet, the mighty Pacific Ocean. Let Captain Kimo Santos and Master Scuba Instructor Keller Laros take you on a rarely seen world filled with beautiful creatures and fascinating places. Welcome to Hawaiian Diving Adventures.
Aloha! Welcome to Hawaiian Diving Adventures. We're in the Republic of Palau, one of the world's greatest dive destinations. On today's show, we're going to visit Peleliu, site of a historic World War II battle, and then we're going to go and dive on a ship that sank during the war. After that, we're going to go to the Blue Corner, where we're going to hook in for some big action. So stay tuned, because you don't want to miss it.
We'll be right back with more Hawaiian Diving Adventures. Welcome back to Hawaiian Diving Adventures.
Ali, and welcome to Hawaiian Diving Adventures. We're in the Republic of Palau, or Palau as the locals call it. These islands stretch out for about 300 miles, and it's about 4,500 miles from Honolulu and over 9,000 miles from New York. When it's noon Monday in Palau, it's 10 p.m. Sunday in New York. Most of our diving in Palau was done in and around the Rock Islands. There are more than 300 of them, and they're undoubtedly Palau's premier visitor attraction. The Rock Islands of Palau are known internationally for their marine lakes, underwater caves, shipwrecks, blue holes, and seemingly bottomless drop-offs. We were the guests of Outrigger Hotels and Resorts and the new Outrigger Palasia Hotel. Marketing executive Chris Dacus and general manager Stephen Goodall made this trip possible for ourselves and a select group of dive industry writers and editors. Sam's Tours Palau were our diving hosts during our stay. Before each outing, the staff at Sam's conducted dive briefings that I recommend paying attention to if you want to get the most out of your Palauan diving or kayaking experience. We had a chance to talk story with Sam Scott, president of Sam's Tours Palau, and he gave us an interesting perspective on these beautiful islands.
I think sport diving in Palau is for the Palauan economy is really important. I believe that about 80% of the visitors coming to Palau are coming here because of the diving. The diving in Palau is probably some of the best known in the world. When Palau was first known as a diving destination, it was mostly the experienced divers coming out here. It was basically the diver's secret, and but then the secret got out.